Kia ora, konnichiwa. Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. My name's Pennie and I'm from New Zealand, and I made a brave decision to jump to Japan, learn the language and finish my degree, which I'm studying online with the New Zealand Polytech. In today's video, I'm giving you an update on my Japanese language journey, and also at the end of the video, I'm going to show you some highlights of the Nagoya Festival. So if you want to see that, stick around to the end, but if you don't want to hear me ramble on, jump to the 12-minute mark. If you like what you see, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment if you want to, because I love reading your comments. You'd be surprised how much they actually help me feel more positive about myself. And also there's that new hype button. Please don't forget to click on that, because it allows other people to see my video and it will help my channel grow. Okay, let's get into it. So I thought I would give an update on my test and how I went, because I had my test last week and unfortunately the first time I did my test I didn't pass. There was a couple of silly mistakes, but there is an area in the test that I just completely struggle with and I just can't get my head around it. But when the answer's shown, it's quite obvious. It's something that I do have to work on. Monday we had the test and that was grammar, vocabulary and also a speaking test. And I tried to get myself prepared as much as I could, but I didn't do very well on the speaking test. I kind of forgot my words and just pronounced some of them incorrectly, so I didn't do too well on there. And the spelling or the vocabulary, that was fine. I just missed out. I got a couple of words mixed up, so I didn't do too well on that one. And then the grammar, it was the picture and probably another couple of things which I just needed to brush up on a bit more. So Friday I retook the grammar and vocabulary and I got the test results yesterday and I passed. So I'm really pleased with that. The pass rate when you have to resit is 80%. So I got over 80%. I'm just relieved. I had the speaking test yesterday and I was practicing, but I don't think I'm saying the letters correctly sometimes. And it has been noted, a couple of people have said in my videos that I'm not saying konnichiwa. I say konnichiwa. So it's like I'm not pronouncing all the words. And also nimas. So I think I've got to go back to basics and to re-look over the alphabet and how they actually sound, because I felt that I was speaking correctly, but the feedback was that I wasn't saying the correct words and some of my grammar was incorrect. So unfortunately I just missed out on passing the speaking test. The pass rate was 80 and I got around 77%. So it's still not too bad, but it's not the pass. The midterm test at this time doesn't affect anything. We carry on. So the midterm test was for chapters 15 to 20 and the end of term test goes up to 25 and it's going to be the whole book. So it's whole Minna no Nihongo series book 1, and that's from chapter 1 to 25. So I thought I'd show you some of the books. So this is the main book and this is in English. You can get other languages as well, which is quite handy. This is the 1 to 25. It's the elementary Japanese and that gives you the vocabulary and also the grammar points that you need to know. And this book kind of goes in hand with the other book that we have, and this gives us examples to do and exercises. So they do take a lot of exercises from this book, and it does come with a CD that you can actually download the app. So you can listen to that, and I do pre-listen to some of the classes. The next book is a speaking book. It's got stories and you got to answer questions regarding the stories. That one doesn't have a CD. This one is the short stories book as well. It's exercises. The speaking book does come with a CD and you can download it from the internet, and that's quite good. It's got your listening practice, I suppose. All of these are kind of listening practices. And the other book that we have is our kanji book. So we learn about 10, goes up to chapter 20. We learn about 10 words or 10 characters a week. And I haven't kept up with this. I try and learn as we go, but it really is a lot of hard work there. So kind of moving forward, I don't want to kind of like move on to the next section when I fully don't comprehend and know all the vocabulary for this section. So not knowing some of the vocabulary, I feel I'm not getting enough conversation practice outside school. The classes are really good. We have good conversations in the class, but I feel that you do need to have a lot more conversational practice. And it's starting off having a conversation. I do try and talk to people in the shop, the shopkeepers, and they're really lovely, but I feel like you need more. And when I came to Japan and started the course, they give you options of homestay, house share, or you can get your own accommodation. So I chose getting my own accommodation. And looking back, maybe a homestay could have been better because they're in with a household, they're just speaking complete Japanese, and that could have, I'm not sure if it would have, could have, or whatever, but for me, looking back, I think that might help learn Japanese to be fully immersed in what you're learning and making sure that you're speaking every day. Even maybe, a house share where you get, to have conversations as well. But having an apartment yourself, it is good, but the daily practice I'm not doing. I'm listening to the television, I understand the words, I can think, God, I know that word, but I can't remember what the word is. So then I quickly look it up. By the time I've looked it up, they've gone on to something else, and it's like, oh, okay. From April till now, I have come a long way. I could have done things better, but I think I would have still chosen the school I'm at because, as I said, the class sizes are a good size and the teachers are really good. We've had some ups and downs, but really overall, I've been pretty pleased with where I'm at the moment. Sometimes it is a bit disappointing that I haven't picked it up so quickly. When I was younger, I never learnt languages in school, really. I probably learnt a little bit of French, but I think I struggle learning languages, and it's not through not lack of trying, it's just understanding. Japanese is so different from English, and when I go to make a sentence, I'm still thinking of English. I'm thinking, okay, I've got up and I go to school, and sometimes the way you say it isn't the same. So like gakko e ikimasu, so school I go. I didn't know a lot of this before I started, so I'm pretty okay where I am. And I think sometimes you want to wake up and know the language completely, and it does get quite frustrating when I can't, and when I try and say something and I start stumbling and stuttering, and then I try and say something and it doesn't come out quite right. You're trying to say it and it's just like it's complete tongue-tied situation, and that's quite frustrating. But all in all, with your support and encouragement, because I have felt like chucking it all in. It's hard. I don't want to do it anymore. Sometimes it's like I'm in a classroom and they're talking, I really don't know what they're saying. It's like, why am I doing this? Like, am I just silly? Is it just like a kind of like midlife crisis to try and do something completely different? But I look back and I try and think, like, why am I doing this? And why did I leave New Zealand? Why did I leave a good job? And all in all, I think inside me, I wasn't internally happy with what I was doing, where I was at. I felt like it was a daily grind and I just wanted to try something different, challenge myself. Could I actually do it? Because I always think, what if? And I had a couple of friends pass away, and I look and I think, they had regrets that they didn't do things. And for me, it's a gamble. I've sold my house. I'm using some of that money to fund my school. And, what happens? What am I going to do afterwards? Well, to be honest, I don't know. I'd like to get a job here, but now I'm going to turn 60 soon, and that's just a terrible number to say. And I'm feeling that 60 is getting older to find a new job. I think with a positive attitude, it shouldn't be too much of a barrier. And it's like, what kind of like all the no's just brings you closer to becoming a yes. And that's what you've got to remember. It's like life can't be easy, because if life was easy, then, everyone would be completely bored. So having challenges, challenging yourself and learning from the falls, but not letting it kind of determine who you are. It's like, okay, I'm failing my tests, and then I resit them. I fail, I resit them, and I pass. I am learning, and it's like, okay, you fall down a lot, but in the end you stand up. And I think that we've got in this world, it's nice to learn. I'm lucky in a situation that, I did save up. I did have this in a plan which was years in the making. I just didn't wake up one day and think, oh, I'm going, and pack up and go. I was thinking about this for many years. So it's what my dream of challenging myself is coming true. When I was younger, we never had the opportunity to go to university, and I always regretted it ever since I was around 30 years old. I thought, oh, it's too old to go to university now. I'm too old, or I couldn't afford it because you had to work because you had a mortgage. So it was like, now stop it. Let's just draw a line and make it happen. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. And now starting this YouTube channel, it certainly helped me creating the community. And I want to just, thank you. Like, you're giving me so much strength to carry on. And hopefully I'm helping you as well. And I think that we can make a good community of supporting each other, not putting people down when they make a mistake, or, it's like, you can point out my errors, yeah. That's how we learn, is good feedback. But constructive feedback is always welcome for me. But negative, mean feedback or mean things you're saying about other people is just not welcome, because we don't need it. I think that when people say really mean, negative things, I delete the comment. People wanting to start again, if you can't start again, it's living through me and experiencing what I'm experiencing. That's a good thing about YouTube. When we're having a bad day, you read some comments and they're so lovely, and it really does pick you up. As I said the other day, I felt like, I've just had enough. I want to give up. And I thought, I can't give up, because I've got my community saying, we're fighting for you. Come on, you can do it. And it's like, well, yes, I can do it. And I did do it. I did pass that test. Later on in the video, I went to the Nagoya Festival, and I'm going to show you a few pieces from my experience in the Nagoya Festival. It was lovely. And thank you so much again for supporting me. And don't forget to hit that hype button, because that will allow my videos to be seen by more people. And I want this community to grow. And I want it to be a positive community. As promised, I'm going to show you some highlights of the Nagoya Festival. I started the day off at Oasis 21, and it had rows and rows and rows of market stalls and arts and crafts that were really hands-on. It was actually so much fun. So Oasis 21 is already a unique spot because of its spaceship roof, but with the festival crowd, it felt like an entirely different space. They really do like to get the community involved. So we got this piece of paper and we had to get a stamp on each of the corners of the piece of paper. It was quite easy because it actually showed you where the locations were. And the final stamp was where you actually spun this wheel and you got a prize. I'm not quite sure what these are called, but they are certainly popular in Japan. They had 2 tables where you could choose something from, and I saw this water pack and I thought that was actually quite a good idea. I'm going to actually put that in my emergency kit. The next stall we came across was where you can make your own stamp, like a personal hanko. It was honestly so cool. So first of all, they asked what your name was and they looked it up in a book, and they gave you 2 or 3 options of what symbol you wanted to carve, and they guided you every step of the way, so they were so helpful. It did look easier than it was, let's put it that way. Now mine didn't quite work out exactly what it was meant to be, but it was so much fun. Our next arts and crafts experience was making our own bag. They were just mini bags, but I'll tell you, it was so much fun. The cost was 500 yen, so I thought it was well worth it. You got to choose the bag portion and also the strap, so I got the red and blue. I thought they actually went really well together. Doesn't it look great? I'm going to put my change in there. As we were walking around, we came across these guys and they had this hat for people to take photos in. So, of course, we had to have a photo. I'm with some of my friends from school. I came across this stall and they were magnets made by a young child and they were from a famous manga book. Now, do you recognise who they are? Our next stop was a bit of food and I got some tacos. They had a taco stall and it smelt delicious and they certainly were pretty yummy too. One of the standout parts of the Nagoya Festival is the Dashi, and these are the traditional wooden festival floats. If you've never seen one before, let me tell you, these are impressive. They're huge and heavy and unbelievably detailed. Each float represents a local district. The Nagoya floats are called Nagoya Dashi. They're famous for one thing, karakuri dolls, mechanical puppets that move on their own. These puppets are controlled by ropes and gears that the operators hide inside the float. Let's watch for a little. Keep your eyes on the puppets. This is just so next level. It is absolutely amazing. Our next destination is Nagoya Science Museum, and this is one of Nagoya's biggest landmarks. It's the huge silver sphere building that looks like a spaceship landed in the middle of the city. Inside the sphere is one of the largest planetariums in the world. It's worth visiting even on a normal day, but during the festival weekend the entry is free. And it was super busy. Our last stop is in Osu Cannon, and we've come to watch the Warlords parade. There's 3 of them, and they are Oda Nobunaga. It was said that he was a ruthless warlord who started unifying Japan and completely changed how battles were fought. Toyotomi Hideyoshi, he was said to have been a brilliant strategist who finished most of Japan's unification after rising from absolutely nothing. And Tokugawa Ieyasu. It was said that he was the patient, calculating leader who finally united the country and founded the Tokugawa shogunate. I added a sit-down reflection in this video to talk about my test results and where I am right now. If you enjoyed that type of honest chat, tell me. I'm happy to add more of those moments in future videos. Thank you so much for watching and coming along with me today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please hit that like button and leave a comment and subscribe to the channel. That really helps me out. And as always, see you in the next video. So until next time, see ya.